meeting to order. Please rise. We can have a moment of silence to keep our troops and all our first responders in our thoughts and prayers that they always return home safe. Thank you. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public meeting law, notice of this public meeting is being published in the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger newspaper, including the Middlesex County website, as well as on the first word, bulletin board of the Middlesex County Administration Building, at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting, which shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar.
Here.
County Commissioner Kenny. County Commissioner Poppel. Here. County Commissioner McCollum.
Here.
County Commissioner Nara. Here. County Commissioner Canaro.
Here.
County Commissioner Director Ray.
Here. Roll call. I'm sorry, recognitions?
Yes. Proclaiming November as Alzheimer's Awareness Month in Middlesex County. Proclaiming November as Caregiver Month in Middlesex County. Recognizing Adela Villara as VP's mental 100th birthday. And recognizing the 125th anniversary of the University of number 3.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar.
Yes.
County
Yes.
Commissioner Kenny. County Commissioner Poppel. County Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Ray.
Yes. Correspondence?
Each commissioner is to provide a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office inside this meeting. This correspondence is kept on file in the office of the clerk for the reference.
Is there a motion to accept the correspondence?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes for approval?
Board of County Commissioners regular meeting October 7, 2021 at 7 o'clock p.m.
Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar.
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny. County Commissioner Poppel. County Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Ray.
Yes. Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Clarabelle Escobar.
Thank you, Director Rios. The annual Medicare open enrollment period began on October 15 and runs through December 7. During open enrollment, residents are encouraged to compare available plans to ensure they are enrolled in a plan that offers the best coverage and cost for them. A comparison tool is available on the Medicare.gov webpage. Also, the State Health Insurance Program provides free help to assist in comparing the options and answering any questions. To contact the Middlesex County SHIP coordinator, you can call the County Office of Aging. Please join us to the Replenish Halloween Food Drive at East Jersey Old Town Village on Saturday, October 30th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Visit East Jersey Old Town Village and make a non-partisan or monetary donation to support Middlesex County's food pantries. You can find more information about this event and other ways to get involved by visiting the county webpage. And that concludes my report, Director Rios.
Thank you. Commissioner Charlie Kenny.
Thank you, Director. Just a couple items. At New Brunswick Landing and the Landing Lane Bridge, debris has been cleaned up from the storm, which would be Ida, I believe. And there is Resolution 1340 to pay for cleanup, so I ask for the Commission for the Board's support. And then also at Roosevelt Park, the dam, repairs are being made at the dam at Roosevelt Park for some repairs, and that is 1335, so I ask for support for that resolution. And then also under our paving program by the engineering department, it has been completed for 2021. Segments of 16 county roads through multiple municipalities have been milled and resurfaced at a cost of $4.5 million. And that's all I have, Director. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Leslie Coppel.
Thank you, Director. Earlier this year, the Board of Commissioners finalized the Middlesex County Small Business Relief Grant Program financed by the CARES Act. We awarded over 1,000 small businesses an average of $25,000 each throughout Middlesex County. As a due diligence follow-up, our Finance Department circulated a survey to all of the recipients, and with the responses thus far, we have been able to determine the following. 98% of respondents have been able to remain open. The majority have returned with the same number of employees as before the pandemic. Almost all of those who are in business said the financial assistance provided by Middlesex County made a difference in their ability to continue operating. The majority found that the application process was very easy. Almost all found that Middlesex County and the finance staff were very helpful in providing all the necessary information to secure grant funding. Comments and feedback were overwhelmingly positive. Here's just a few of the many comments. Code Ninjas, a children's educational center located in Edison that teaches children coding and STEM skills, stated, "Thank you to all the Middlesex County Commissioners and staff for making the process easy and all the help along the way. We sincerely appreciate all you have done for us, and the financial assistance help us sustain the business through really tough and uncertain times." Absolute Dance Center of Monroe commented, "I appreciate this grant so very much. It is because of this grant that I was able to keep my doors open and continue to instruct children in the art of dance." The Middlesex County Board of Commissioners takes great pride in knowing our programs were successful, have positively impacted our community, and have kept the doors of Middlesex County businesses open. That concludes my report. Thank you, Director.
Thank you. Commissioner Chanel Scott McCullough.
Thank you, Director. From the Arts Institute of Middlesex County, the Arts Institute is partnering with the New Brunswick Domestic Violence Awareness Coalition to create a large mural in the intersection of George Street and Livingston Avenue. This mural will serve to bring awareness to their public march that is scheduled to take place on Saturday, October 23rd. The march will begin at 10 a.m. in front of Monument State Park in Brunswick. The Arts Institute is celebrating First Responders Day on Thursday, October 28th, with giveaways, music, and art to honor the incredible work and dedication of our county's first responders. Celebrations will be held in Monument Square Park in New Brunswick from 2 to 5 p.m. Please visit the county website for further details on upcoming holiday events throughout the month. From the Office of Career Opportunity, I'm happy to share that the Office of Career Opportunity successfully launched the first satellite skill-up connection site at Cedarville Public Library. Monthly workshops on career counseling are being offered on-site for library patrons. The connection site also provides residents with access to the online skill-up career training platform. I have the pleasure today of speaking with Aziza Hay, who's the Director for Adult Services, and she says if anyone has any questions, please feel free to call her at 732-727-0212, extension 21. Residents are also encouraged to call 732-745-2814 or go to our county website for further information on career services. From the Office of Cooperative Extension Services, we are pleased to inform you that the Office of Cooperative Extension Services is completing the first year of a USDA-funded beginner farmer training program. The program engaged over 48 paid participants. This is the first program of its kind in New Jersey to provide prospective farmers with a 3-year training program on production, business management, and other topics critical to running a successful farming operation. First-year training included virtual seminars, hands-on experience-based learning, lectures from farmers and researchers, and participation in seasonal activities with our local farming communities. Director, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Deputy Director Shanti Nara.
Thank you, Director. From the offices of the prosecutor and sheriff, on October 23rd, this Saturday, the Middlesex County prosecutor and sheriff will participate with Somerset County and other law enforcement departments in a gun buyback program. New Jersey residents may anonymously turn in firearms and get paid for up to 3 guns at up to $250 per weapon, no questions asked. The event will be held at First Baptist Church of Lion Gardens, located at 771 Somerset Street in Somerset, New Jersey, and will be conducted from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This event is co-sponsored by the New Jersey Office of the Attorney General, Division of Criminal Justice, the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office, Middlesex County Sheriff's Department, and the New Brunswick and Franklin Townships Police Departments. For more information and additional locations throughout the state, please visit www.njoag.gov/gun buyback. From our environmental, solid waste, and recycling divisions, we have some upcoming events. This Saturday, October 23rd, the divisions will conduct another paper shred event at Plainsborough Municipal Center, located at 641 Plainsborough Road. And then on Friday, November 5th, there's another paper shred event that will be held at Johnson Park, Violet Drive in Piscataway. The very next day, Saturday, November 6th, there will be a third paper shred event, which will be sponsored by Piscataway's Little League Complex, located at 491 Sydney Road in the township. All our paper shred events are held between the hours of 9 a.m. and noon, or until the trucks are full. Residents may bring free of charge all paper items for safe shredding and recycling, thus protecting one's personal information and identity. As I always advise, please only include paper items, as metals and the like can disable the shredding devices. And then on Saturday, October 30th, the divisions will conduct a backyard composting virtual workshop from 10 a.m. to noon. Residents can register online by emailing solidwaste@co.middlesex.nj.us or call the divisions at 732-745-4170 for all questions or for additional information on any program. And finally, I want to remind the county residents that the county is still providing opportunities for people who need COVID testing or want to register for the vaccine. You can just go onto the county website to receive any information that's pertinent to your needs. That's all I have tonight, Director.
Thank you. Commissioner Charlie Tamaro.
Thank you, Director. Join us for our last volunteer event in 2021, the Conservation Corps, the Raritan Day Waterfront Park, for our Fall Beach Sweep with Clean Ocean Action this Saturday, October 23rd, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Help us to keep our shoreline beautiful during the statewide event. Registration is required, and for more information, that can be found on our website. The leaves are starting to change, and walking and hiking trails in our parks are some of the best places to find peak colors of the season. From the paved pathway around the lake at Roosevelt Park to our rocky trails along Ferreton Lake. And don't forget the Middlesex County Greenway, its 3.5-mile trail that runs from Metuchen, Edison, and Woodbridge. You can find our hiking locations suitable for all levels. Hiking is an inexpensive and easy way to stay healthy and enjoy the fall weather. You can find more information on various hiking locations by going to our website and searching Take a Hike. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Kelso, any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Resolutions to be amended?
Yes, Director, on page 10, Resolution 21-1354 is to amend it to reflect that the vehicles are being purchased on behalf of the Office of Adult Corrections, not on behalf of the Office of the Sheriff.
Is there a motion to amend?
Motion to amend.
Second.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Escobar Barber.
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny. County Commissioner
Yes.
Castle. County Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios.
Yes. Mr. Kelso, any resolution to be held?
There are none.
Any resolution to be voided?
Yes, we one resolution to be voided, 21-1313, which was authorizing payment to Reliance Graphics. This is being voided since it's no longer necessary. This contract has already been approved, and therefore the payment will be done through the voucher system on the buildings.
Is there a motion to void the above resolution?
Motion to void.
Second.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Escobar Barber.
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny. County Commissioner Castle.
Yes.
County Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios.
Yes. At this time, I open up the meeting to the public. Speaking any agenda items listed for resolutions? Or any resolutions listed on the agenda? Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Charles Cradaville from the city of New Brunswick, editor of New Brunswick Today, community newspaper, available online at newbrunswicktoday.com. Start on page 7 at the bottom. I see amendment to the budget, some $5.16 million related to the Livingston Avenue rehabilitation, the whole redoing of the road there. Can you tell me, is this to acknowledge grant funds that are coming in? And what share of the project was paid for by the state versus by the county?
Solomon, could you address that for Mr. Cradaville, please?
Commissioner Director, that is covered, majority of the funds are covered by the state, and that's just to resolve our budget for the state funds that are being used for Livingston Avenue. So the majority of those funds, and the exact number I can get to you, but majority of those funds are taken care of by the state aid, federal state aid.
Okay, thanks. And can I just get an update on the project? Is it fully complete? What additional work, if any, has to be done?
Commissioner Director, that project has been effectively complete. However, we have some drainage and water main issues with the city of New Brunswick that we're waiting to be completed, so we can close it out.
Thank you for the answers. Move on to page 9. Curious about this multi-party traffic signal agreement, 1349. Seems like it's related to a project of Edgewood Properties, Jack Morris's company. Can you tell me what is happening there and what role the county is playing?
Solomon?
So, Commissioner Director, this is part of a development that's being designed and built by the contractor, the developer, and the county will maintain it. It's normal process and procedure by the county as part of our development program, our plan program.
So just to be clear, the cost is being borne by the developer
Yes.
for the improvements. And what intersection is this?
This is intersection Monroe Township, Route 33 at
Harrowville Road and Meadows Boulevard.
Thank you for that. Moving on to page 12. I know this is a sticking point with us sometimes. I see 1371. We've got 2 members of the Middlesex County Prosecutor Office with a grant-funded conference or attendance at some type of training seminar in Ocean City, Maryland. And that took place September 27th and 28th, but the resolution doesn't name which 2 members of the MCPO attended and got this benefit of this training. Can you tell me which officials attended the training?
That is the prosecutor's choice, and for the security of those members from the prosecutor's office to go to these seminars is most important to make sure that they are safe. So she has the liberty of not naming who it is.
Liberty of what? I'm sorry.
Of not naming who these members of her office staff that went.
Director, if I may, Charlie, I know you're probably thinking that that conference already passed, so what's the danger of releasing names? But I think the prosecutor is taking a position similar to her predecessor, that if they are having some members of their staff learn specific techniques in law enforcement, that they don't want to identify who those people are, it may compromise things in investigations. And we've been through this before, Charlie, and you certainly know what I do for a living, right? But in this role, I'm going to respect the prosecutor's position about how she runs her office and how they gain critical knowledge for their investigative purposes. So I believe there's a reason to keep the names prior to attending conferences, but she's also identified a reason to keep them private after the conferences are over.
Yeah, well, respectfully disagree that that's acceptable. I think that,
Did you say his time is up? Amy?
His time's up now.
well, we don't have secret police in this country. We shouldn't have secrets
Thank you.
about which police get which training. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes to speak about any resolutions listed on the agenda.
Hi, yes, my name is Daniel Moore from Somerset Street. First, I would like to start off with the Livingston Avenue project. Can you
Which
tell-
resolution?
That's 1337. Can you tell me if this is additional?
1337?
Yes. Is this an additional $5.16 million for this? Because I know once the project went through, before it started, that it was approved for $6.6 million. So is this the actual price of the whole entire project for Livingston Avenue?
Solomon?
So this is the state aid portion of the project. There's federal aid also associated with it, which is included in the balance, which you're mentioning the $6 million. But those exact numbers we can get back to you.
Okay, thank you, but like I said, due to where I will say, I'm still wondering, I did hear you mention, first the project was complete, but then I did hear you mention, it's not due to where, for about the past month or so, from Stratford Place onto Wellington Place, due to where it has not been finished. I've noticed that all of the machines and everything has been moved from off the location, but yes, please tell me, when will it be finished?
So, Commissioner Director, we're working with the city of New Brunswick to try to work a schedule out to complete the water main work along that section so that we can resolve the project and close it out. So we don't have an answer in terms of...
Okay, I understand, but please push sometimes you have to push the city a little harder due to where, they don't respond as quickly as the county. I do thank Mr. Ron Saunders due to where we're putting him working with me on Livingston Avenue due to where I'm the one that took over 1,000 pictures saying what needed to be done, tired of seeing people injured and being killed. I know he is on vacation, but God bless him, he still spoke to me yesterday while he was on vacation as well, in regards to some situation. But I will say the best thing that I do love about Livingston Avenue, that's with Livingston and New Street, where you have a 4-way red light where every pedestrian can walk at the same time. It's very safe. It's a good idea. I hope you look into it for other locations throughout the county due to where it's very safe on that. And my last thing I will say in regards to cleaning up the flood. I heard you mention...
We're talking about resolutions now.
Yes, due to where it was part of
Which
the
resolution are you talking about?
I'm not sure which one it was, but that was with Landing Lane. I heard you mention about cleaning up. I just didn't see, I want to know, was that included with part of Boyd Park that you had to clean up? Due to where I will speak at the public comments as well, due to where your voting dock that you paid over $4 million for with the waste, just to clog up our river. I will get to that when it comes to the public part as well. But I feel that you are wasting entirely too much money and polluting our waters with please. I would like to know how much did it cost to clean up? Like I said, did that include cleaning up Boyd Park as well?
Yes.
Well, honestly, I will say thank you. I'm glad that due to where you do respond better than the city do, how you did take me seriously with cleaning it up, but I still say, wow, take a look at it and get against the city due to where it's still polluted down there with killing our animals. Which, like I said, I do have evidence on that. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public that wants to speak on any resolutions listed?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Kelso.
I believe we have,
Does anyone have to vote on resolutions separately?
Yes, Director, I do.
Okay. Which one?
Items number 21-1335 for the R, and number 21-1372R.
That's it?
yes, Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 21-1297 through resolution 21-1372, excluding resolution 21-1313 to be voided, and resolutions 21-1353 and 21-1372 to be voted upon separately.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt
Second.
consent agenda.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Escobar Garber.
Yes.
County Commissioner
Yes.
Kenny. County Commissioner
Yes.
Capel. County Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio.
Yes.
Now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the two resolutions excluded by Commissioner Scott McCollum, and that's 21-1353 and 21-1372.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Escobar Garber.
Yes.
County Commissioner
Yes.
Kenny. County Commissioner Capel.
Yes.
County Commissioner McCollum.
Present but abstaining.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio.
Yes. At this time, I open up the meeting to the public. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Taylor Myers. I'm in.
Can you speak a little louder and closer
yeah,
to the microphone,
yeah.
please?
I'm Taylor Myers. I'm in Highland Park. I am representing the Friends of the Johnson Park the Johnson Park Animal Alliance. We just wanted to thank you for your decision to close the zoo. That was really well taken by all of our members and everyone I've heard in the community. So just thank you. That was a really, really important thing for us, and you did the right thing. We do have a couple of questions about where the animals are going, though. So we provided a list of sanctuaries in a very large document to Rick Lear of the Parks Department. And this included commitment letters from various sanctuaries around the state, some out of state, but most in New Jersey, where these animals would be taken care of, live out their best lives. We are now hearing from some of our sanctuaries that we are not upholding that end of the bargain. Rick Lear told us that he would be amenable to a plan if we put the plan together. We presented him with a stellar plan filled with details. And we're just wondering why that plan isn't being instituted right now. We're hearing that some of these animals are going to private parks. That's not really the goal at all. Private farms, private houses, even some of the friends of the Parks Department, it's not acceptable. We're just wondering where they're going.
I can tell you this, that our main concern is the safety and health of our employees and the animals. Rick Lear is working diligently with his staff to make sure that where they go, that they will be in a safe place and that will be in compliance with New Jersey Fish and Wildlife. And what was the other one, Rick? Or Rick, if you could add to that?
Yeah, I will direct that. Thank you, Director. It's the USDA, and I would like to thank the group for the information that you did provide. That has been immensely helpful. And as you can understand and appreciate, what we're trying to do here is transfer animals, living things. We're not asking people to come and pick up bags of grass seed or lawnmower parts. So in doing so, we want to be sensitive to that. I've reached out to a number of the sanctuaries and the places within the report that you provided. Again, that saved me the groundwork of having to start to identify them, as well as we made contact with a couple of other places too. For example, Bergen County reached out to us and offered their help as well.
Yeah, Swan Park is a really good, yeah.
So that was appreciated by them as well. Part of this process is that I want to be sure, as I'm sure you do as well, that prior to the animals being moved, that they're being moved correctly, and that we have some sense of confidence in the places that they're going. So I've reached out, I made 4 site visits already. I've got a couple more that I'd like to make over this weekend. We've got sanctuaries that literally from Cape May to the Water Gap to Frenchtown and everywhere in between. So it's a lot of geographic area. But I do want to meet the owners. I want to understand what their place is like, what their experience is, who is their vet, logistical questions. Can you come for a pickup? Do we need to do a drop-off? want them to be able to speak in some terms with my animal keepers, the people who really know. Don't ask me about horses, don't ask me about goats, I don't know. All right, however, for example, if you were to move a horse, right, is it better to move them with our equipment to reduce that stress? We know this is going to be a stressful event for every animal that gets moved. Right? I remember my dog going in the car just to go to the vet. I thought it was going to die before it got to the vet, right? Because it's a stressful thing. So it's a process, and I'm actively engaged in it. If you talk to some of the sanctuaries, we've been in touch.
So none of the animals are going to private farms?
So some of those, okay, I'll point out, some of those sanctuaries in there are private sanctuaries that you referred to. So the answer would be yes. Yeah, I want to go and visit them, and I want to see what they're doing, what they're available. None of them are other government agencies. Like I said, Bergen County reached out to offer their help. We haven't decided anything. They haven't committed that they'll take anything, but it was nice of them to reach out to the Bergen County Zoo or the McFall Center, which both house animals. So it's a process I want to make sure we do carefully, that everybody's in agreement. And also remember, too, the sanctuaries, they're not dropping everything to rush down here either. I went out to Warren County earlier this week to meet with Amber Ridge. We set up a schedule. She goes, all right, I got a lot going on here. You know, it's high time for them too. We're going to try and arrange a visit. They also want to be sure she wants to come down and see. She wants to meet what she's going to accept, so she has some measure of confidence as well.
Yeah.
So it is an ongoing process. I am going to continue to do
Time's
that.
up.
Okay. We just appreciate the transparency, so return calls and emails.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address next, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Janet Ratliff from Somerset, New Jersey, and I wanted to speak as well on the Johnson's Park transfer of the animals, and my questions would probably be more directed towards Mr. Rick Lear as well. We had been working with him. We had presented him a 33-page document. He seemed very open and appreciative, but we haven't heard anything from him. We have sanctuaries, safe sanctuaries lined up, and they're now contacting us because they're not getting any answers. They're trying to prepare for these animals, find out if they are indeed going to them. We did hear that one of them said that his comment was that the animals don't belong to us. So we don't have a right to promise any animals. We weren't promising any animals to anybody. We were just finding safe sanctuaries for them. I do have a concern, and Ann Tim had started a protest to keep the zoo open. And in one of the comments on there, from a Richard Cianci, his comment was, I've been going there 20 years, and the people there who care for the animals are wonderful. They even gave my daughter a beautiful little rabbit who she adored for many years. So naturally, my concern is, are these animals just being handed out to family, friends, vetted, or vetted sanctuaries? I know Rick did meet, Mr. Lear, I should say, did meet with some of these sanctuaries, and we appreciate that, because us as well, their well-being is the most important thing to us. So that's basically our concern, where these animals are going, and why we have not been gotten any communication for about a week now, I'm going to say.
Again, I'm just going to state that Mr. Lear is doing his due diligence to make sure that this is a smooth transition to the right places and be in compliance with the law or any other regulatory agencies.
Right, but we haven't really been getting transparency this week, and some of the animals have critical situations, and we would just like some open communication, dialogue, where we're at with these specific animals. We had actually sent a follow-up email on Monday to him discussing some of the more important cases, and we haven't gotten an answer. Well, I appreciate there's a lot that goes into this. Trust me, we've been working day and night ourselves on it, so we appreciate that. But we're just kind of been ghosted, don't know what's going on. And we have the sanctuaries contacting us, wanting to know what's going on. And we'd just like to have some answers.
When we make some significant moves, I'm going to say that we'll make some announcement either on our website to let people know what we're doing. This time, it's a long process.
Right, and I understand that. Can I get some kind of answer as far as that's common practice for the current zookeepers to be giving animals away to their family, friends?
I can't answer that because I don't know if that's the case. I understand that our folks that work there are very caring for the animals. They love the animals just like everybody else.
Right, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying, just like Mr. Lear wanted to check out our sanctuaries that we lined up, wouldn't everybody have to be vetted? Can I get an answer?
Director, I just wanted to, the comment that you read, right? You said that happened a couple of years ago.
No, that happened this past week.
No, but you said that, in the comment, it said that they gave a rabbit that his daughter enjoyed for many years. All I'm saying is, one, I'm not validating that happened, but two, if it did, it happened some years ago, that is not the practice. This isn't a breeding program. We're not just giving animals away. And I know that. I've lived in this county for a long time.
Right. Well, animals do breed there because there's pregnant goats.
I understand. I'm not saying that they don't. They're animals and there are matching care, I'm just saying, this is not a place where we're breeding and giving animals away. We'll definitely, Rick will look into it, but this is
and
not.
I did have one other question regarding the fallow deer.
Time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Danielle Moore, Somerset Street. First, I would like to
Danielle, could you get closer to the microphone and please speak louder?
First, I would like to start off with French Street, Route 27, due to where that was yesterday, putting up signs. We use crosswalks along, but it's good to see, but I say you put them in the wrong location. Why would you put reuse crosswalks in an area that you will be building the school where I didn't print every block, but you don't even have crosswalks over there. The only crosswalk that you're able to cross is Alexander Street and Florence Street. So what is the police department putting up these signs for safety to use crosswalks to where I told you from get-go, that's like a highway that is not area for a school to go, and you don't have any crosswalks. If anything, the county should be putting up, wow, that's only 25 miles per hour. And like I said, the New Brunswick Police Department needs to start working, giving out tickets to slow these vehicles down. Especially if that's going to be an area for a school, but it doesn't make any sense for you to put up all these signs and you don't have any crosswalks on French Street between Alexander and Florence. I will give you the picture then. Like I said, Mr. Ron Sanders, I did talk to him already. He said he'll get back to me Monday on discussing that. But also, please, like I said, that you wasted $4 million, how you polluted our river with your the boating dock with no one using. This is August 31st. This is not from the flood, which I have the pictures in my phone as well with the dates on them. Please, do not put that back up there again due to where it's just collecting garbage, polluting the river. And like I said, I spoke to Mr. Ron Sanders, and I will give you the pictures, and Mr. Tom Valenti. You're going to have to do your job in, dredging, Jersey Avenue, Joyce Comer Avenue. Sure, I know other places, Mango was flooded worse than New Brunswick. But wow, if any of you go down there, you'll still see how it stinks. It's polluting the water. I have the pictures of killing the fish, dead beaver, everything in the river down there. Please take action in what you're doing. You're going to have to redo Jersey Avenue. That's your responsibility. The city's going to have to dredge and clean out of Joyce Comer and Charles Street, due to where that was the worst flood ever. But unless you dredge it, it's going to continue flooding. And I say, due to where high that river has been, we're not out of the woods yet. So like I said, I hope you really do take the best concern, do something with the animal, due to where, Mayor Cahill can't say, and you can't say, well, I'm not a person with special vision where the Lord does let me see things. I warned Mayor Cahill 2 days ahead of time that river was going to flood. Did he move anybody out? I have the evidence that I texted him and all. So like I said, please, Go down there, like I said, I thank you for cleaning up after Ida. But please, take your part and go down there to see how all that water from the stream, Jersey Avenue, mixes with sewage every time it rains. How it stinks down there so bad. Please, take me seriously, because I know you take me seriously more than the city does. And as far as one more thing, I just forget to say about Livingston Avenue. Please, due to where the same situation before, I hope you don't have again. Ooh, county road, but it's the city. You're gonna have somebody to maintain the street lights, make sure that the bulbs are being changed, due to where that's already a situation, due to where the block in front of Comstock and Delavan, in front of Red Shaw School, due to where the lights have been out for the past 2 weeks. It's starting to get dark. Once time goes back, due to where by the time the kids get home from after school, it's gonna be dark. So please, I hope you and the city can work out with hiring a maintenance person or something that rides through there, due to where, wow, you have what, almost 20 times more lights than you had before, and it was a situation. And I surely don't want that to be the situation, the cause of death of last year, when I kept telling you guys to fix the light for 4 months on Livingston and Handy. What took forever, that was where the man got killed last year. So like I said, you can't say that, wow, the Lord doesn't warn me ahead of time. I'm glad you guys take me more seriously now. But please, yes, something's totally going to have to be done. And I'm disappointed due to where, wow, how the Board of Education Live said that 28 tons of soil was taken from 50 Jersey Avenue. Nothing was done. Wow, I have the evidence, what? You have over 30 homeless people still living over there with the construction work. Did the police department or the city help them out yet? I see a lot on here as far as helping people.
Time's up.
But please, I hope you do something.
Solomon, could you have a discussion with Ron Senator in reference to what Danielle spoke about? Let me give you an update, please. You can give it to Solomon.
I can take them here now. Okay.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Sure, thank you. My name is Maurice Schnorr.
Could you just speak closer to the microphone, a little louder, please?
Sure.
Because of the mask, it's difficult, for me especially.
My name is Maurice Schnorr. I live at 22 Prescott Street in Edison. Came to my attention, and I live in the Edison Highland Park community at large, that the Johnson Park Animal Sanctuary, suddenly someone decided that it was okay to close it. I just want to state that I and many others, hundreds of others, we have a petition within 48 hours. We've gotten about over 465 signatures asking to rescind the closure. I myself, I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up, in a city life. I came out here, suburban lifestyle. Like a lot of people, I have children, open space. Johnson Park Animal Sanctuary is a great place to visit. I think, with all the homes being built, it's something that a lot of families appreciate. I do understand the concerns of those animals that people have. My sister is a veterinarian of large animals, and she travels all over the country. So I'm very familiar with the care and concern over animals. However, I don't think going in the direction of closing it makes sense. I'm not sure why it wasn't taken from a positive point of view, where there should be a plan to improve whatever conditions that are considered below par. However, from what I understand, the USDA, there's been really no citations against the sanctuary. I think all the people there that work there obviously very much care for the animals. One of the complaints was about the flooding issue. I mean, 1 in 100 year event. That shouldn't be an issue or concern. All the animals were safe. None of them died. None of them got sick, from what I understand. I think that's able to be factually backed up. I think that a 1 in 100 year event shouldn't trigger any sort of fast or quick decision making. What we're asking for is a rescinding of the closure, and at least during the months from now until the springtime, there really is no risk of flooding to that area. I think that there's an opportunity here to have input from families who didn't know about this closure, obviously, to work out something to improve the place and other ways to maybe raise funds to make it larger. My other understanding is that the park or the people that work there get requests, over hundreds of requests over the years to take animals, and the place is just not large enough. So the concern about the animals, I understand, but why not make it a better place and larger, because there are hundreds of animals that need sanctuaries, and there's just not enough sanctuaries. And these animals then are being left and thrown into the wild or put to sleep. So there's an opportunity really here to improve the sanctuary that would meet the concerns of the people that want it closed, and also provide what is necessary, which is an outlet for thousands of families that live here, kids that are autistic, elderly people that come and visit, a learning opportunity, corporate sponsors. I mean, they have Adopt a Highway program by corporations. We could do Adopt an Animal or Adopt a Kid, a nesting area or a learning experience area in the sanctuary. The flooding, I understand that's a concern, but the fact is, once in 100-year events, I mean, humans died in their basements, but no animals died in Johnson Park. So I'm not sure why, there isn't concern about that more than the animals. But the point is that there's an opportunity here to really do something better rather than just simply close. And closing the park has an effect, I think, on a lot of people, human emotions especially. A lot of people are stuck at home still with families and kids. And this is an opportunity to really expand and do something better and make it even a much better place. Because the truth is that a lot of New Jersey, I think anyone that's an environmentalist, including myself, and is very strong about climate change, can see New Jersey being paved over by warehouses and parking lots. And I think that should be the real concern, not worried about basically a lot of farm animals
Time's up.
that have normal,
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Richard Ambrosio, 35 Violet Place. I am a Middlesex County Parks Maintenance employee. On September 1st, Johnson Park experienced flooding due to an unexpected degree. Though myself and most other Johnson Park employees are not officially animal keepers, all of us that were able to went to the park and worked tirelessly to get all of the animals to a safe location on higher ground, and were successful with 0 animal losses. Park employees, including myself, then spent the night at the park next to the animals' temporary home to ensure that they were all safe and in good health. Once the water went down, we immediately went to work in all animal pens to restore them to their pre-storm condition, from which point we were able to safely return the animals to their pens within 24 hours. Flooding to this degree is not a frequent occurrence. In fact, flooding like this has only happened 3 times in the past 22 years. Our animals have a good life at the park, with dedicated animal keepers there every single day of the year, who not only look at caring for the animals as if it's just a job, but also something that is very important to both of them. Today, all of our animals are back into their normal routines, living life as if this storm didn't happen. Johnson Park Zoo is a big part of Middlesex County's community. There are residents lined up with their families every single day, in the summer, spring, and even well into the fall. To take something so important away to so many because of false rumors and lies by protesters who are uneducated on the matter is an injustice to our residents, the animals, and the county workers. There are steps besides completely removing the animals that can be taken to protect the animals, such as steeply improving our existing flood plan. My question to the county commissioners is this: is removing the animals at Johnson Park Zoo the right plan or the easier one?
I didn't understand your last part.
Is removing the animals at Johnson Park Zoo the right plan or just the easier plan?
The right plan.
Oh.
If you're gonna be disruptive, you will be removed. Everybody has the opportunity to speak. 5 minutes.
Yes,
We feel as a board very concerned about the safety and health of our employees and the animals as well.
yes, and I said all that with the most utmost respect. I wanted to get that out there. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. If you could just, because of the mask, it's difficult for me, especially because I have bad hearing.
My name is Jenny Caruso. I live at 13 Hill Road in Edison, and I'm also speaking on behalf of Johnson Park Zoo. I am speaking as a county resident in favor of keeping the zoo at Johnson Park. I've been going to the zoo for 20 years since I moved to Middlesex County, so to witness the action that's being taken with moving the animals elsewhere due to the disdain that protesters have towards the zoo is very upsetting to me. It is my understanding that many county animal keepers have been doing that job for years, some even decades. These employees are the ones inside the pens every single day, replacing drinking water, feeding animals, cleaning cages, communicating with the vets regarding their health, and even just playing with the animals. This is why I believe these employees should be allowed to and encouraged to speak on the matter on behalf of themselves, the zoo, and the animals. Instead, it seems as those that have decided to move the animals trusted people who may not even be county residents to know the condition and health of the animals over the workers that interact with and whose careers revolve around the park's animals. The signatures collected on the petition to get rid of the zoo were largely collected by spreading misinformation, by simple things such as giving animals fake names in an effort to gain sympathy, all the way to claiming that half of Johnson's animals were lost in the flood. On the other side, there are county residents on the petition to keep the zoo who describe the park's decision to move as outrageous, such a shame and a real loss to the park and the community. The park is also described in this petition as something that brings happiness to everyone, a family tradition, a well-taken care of preserve, a wonderful local zoo, a wholesome free family area, and an opportunity to keep children's learning local. And unlike the opposing petition, these accounts come from Middlesex County residents. Why have we given a voice to a few protesters, silenced county employees, and residents who frequent the zoo? Why are we taking the animals away from the only homes and handlers they've ever known? Without hearing the animal keepers' thoughts or allowing them to contribute to this conversation, we're taking the voice of animals from the animal keepers' perspectives. We're taking away tradition from parents and grandparents that fed the animals as children and would like to pass that to their children and grandchildren. We're telling the county residents that have brought animals to Johnson in an effort to save them that they cannot count on Middlesex County for that anymore. I urge you, as well as 466 county residents on the petition, to re-examine your decision and to instead move forward with improving emergency flood plans. Closing this zoo marks the end of an important community staple and, in my opinion, is quite frankly the wrong decision. I'm asking the Middlesex County Commissioners to hear us and please reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Don Majorano, 153 Highland Avenue, Edison.
Could you just pick up the mic a little bit and speak a little closer and louder?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've been stabled at Johnson Park with racehorses for over 40 years. And I'm trying to get an answer what they're going to do with it. And, we were told to evacuate, and I've never lost a horse there in 40 years. I know there's been problems in the past, but that's over with. That was once every, 20 years it comes up. And I just, we evacuated 2 months ago, we left. I was told that the building had to be inspected, which there's 8 outlets in it. There's ground fault outlets, there's 8 breakers, there's a hot water heater, and a fire alarm system. And we still haven't heard anything. And to be honest with you, I don't trust Rick Lear because I've spoken with him before. He doesn't like horses. He told me that himself. He wishes the place was closed because it's easier to cut grass than it is to put up with the stuff. I take care of the track. We keep the barn area clean. We cut the grass. It brings in probably last year about $16,000 to the county. And I'm just trying to get, kind of answers. I don't know what your decisions are, but, I wish some of you would come down and look at it and see it and see the people that enjoy it and the handicapped kids that come and enjoy all the animals and all that stuff. You guys are here making decisions, but you have to show up. How can you make decisions if you don't see the problem? There's people that come every day, handicapped people that never seen a horse, people that never touched a horse. And they're from little kids up. There's people that come and they get inspired and, there's a top surgeon, veterinarian surgeon. She got from the park. She's one of the top in the state. So, what I'm afraid of is I'm afraid that when they go in and do the survey, Rick's gonna pump the numbers up and come to you people and say, oh, it's not worth keeping because it's gonna cost too much to fix. Well, if that's the case, you let me know what the price is.
It's not about, sir, not to interrupt you, it's not about the money. And I trust Rick Lear's judgment and recommendations to this board all the time. And he may make recommendations to us, but we're the ones that make the final decision.
Right. I know that.
And we are, again, I'm just stating that our concern is for the health and welfare of our employees and the animals as well.
Right, okay. But now the
And
horses...
he's not going to fudge any numbers to make things look bad or better.
Well, that barn area track's been there since 1930, and it's brought a lot of education and a lot of enjoyment to the people that come down here. And I just don't know, like I said, there's 8 outlets, there's 8 breakers in the place, and there's a water heater. And it shouldn't cost that much to get back, to get back running. And it's like 2 months. And I just felt that if he was willing and wanted it back, it took 2 months to get it, know what I'm saying? So, I'm concerned whether we're going to be able to come back or not. At a place that's been here since the 30s. And I've never had an incident, never had a problem. There are my horses, and they cost me a lot of money, and, they're treated better than family members. And that's, so I'm hoping you take it into consideration, and if anybody has to see anything or learn, want to be educated on it, or come down and see it and visit, we keep it clean. I don't think he's had any complaints.
Time's up.
I'd like to hear what he said.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your
You
comments.
can't give me no update on it?
As we move forward and make significant steps, we will give the public updates on what we're doing. But at this time, we're moving in the direction of closing the place because of the safety and health of the animals and our employees. It's not a money issue.
Okay.
Your time is up, sir. Thank you. Anyone else on the public?
They're my animals. They're not the park's animals. They're my animals.
I understand.
Director, can I just ask one question? You rent the 2 paddocks down there?
No, I rent the stalls are rented.
You rent 2 of the stalls?
No. We had 8 of them last year. So that was $16,000 a year that it brought in for the county. And basically, with very little, like I took care of the track because I didn't want them to say that.
Well, is that part? Is that part of the agreement that the track is taken care of by?
Well, yeah, but I've been doing
it's
it.
not like the county's using the track.
No, I do it. So there's not much upkeep that the county actually puts in other than the electric and stuff like that. But please, I encourage anybody to come down and see it. And if you have any questions,
Thank you.
I can give you my number.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, ma'am.
Hi, Kimberly Dorr from Edison, New Jersey.
Speak a little louder. Because of the mask, it makes it more difficult for me. Bring it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
It's in regards to the Johnson Zoo, the animals. Would like you to reconsider removing these animals from their homes. They've been there for many years, and few people that don't know what goes on there decided to make this, public thing. When a storm came in, and it doesn't happen all that often, people died because nobody predicted that it was going to be this bad. So for something to happen, not often, you're going to uproot these animals from their homes. They've been there for years. They were bottle fed by these workers. This is what they know. You're worried about animals. You're going to stress them out by removing them. Keep them where they are. They've always been taken care of. Families come here. I've been going there for years. All my family members, nieces, nephews, it's a pleasure to go there. But because you had one storm, and now all of a sudden, because somebody said on Channel 12 News, nobody did anything, which is not the case. You all know that. There was workers there all night taking care of those animals. So nobody can say nobody did anything. They were there, they took care of those animals, they moved them to safety. But where are the pictures that show the animal goes back in the water on its own because it wants to play in the water or walk around the water? They make these pictures and crop them to make it look worse than it actually was. Oh, because there was a goat laying in the water, but you cut the picture so that it doesn't show 2 feet away from the goat is dry land, and the goat wanted to be there. They make it worse than it sounds. No, this was a haste decision. I didn't even know that you guys were even considering this. This was all done behind doors. It was quiet, and a few people that are bored at home, have nothing else to do, decide to uproot these animals' lives. And I'm begging you to reconsider this. If you can't tell, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family. We've been doing this, we've been going there for years. And to hurry up, wipe your hands of it is really, really not how this should have went down at all. I ask you please to reconsider this. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Monroe Township. Good evening, Commissioners. What is the rush? As elected county officials, you represent this community. You represent the values of this community. In representing us, you are supposed to take our requests into consideration when making decisions. As you have heard, this decision to close the animals at the park was made very hastily and did not have your entire community in mind. The community that you have been elected to represent. The county demonstrates that you see value in history based on the properties you purchase and preserve. You see value in children as displayed by the playgrounds. You see value in fitness and walking trails as you see displayed in the parks. You see value in entertainment evidenced by the playhouse. So by closing the animal haven, you are saying that you do not see value in the animals. If you did, why are these animals leaving our county? Why are there other options not being considered? Why was this decision made so hastily and without the knowledge of the community you are supposed to be representing? As you can see by the people here tonight, and by the over 475 signatures on a local petition, the people of your community are not in agreement, and you're not doing the job that you have been elected to do and accepted to do. You do not give reasonable notice to your community that you are making such a decision with only the input of the few and research of one person you said was given to you. So I ask you, is your decision based only on flooding, and there's plenty of ways to keep these animals safe? Why are they not being relocated to another park within your county? Why are they being removed from Johnson Park? Why is there not an emergency plan being considered if you're concerned about the flooding and the safety of the animals? Are there not protocols that can be updated to help this in the future? As you also heard,
there's a storm once every 10, 20, 50 years that jeopardizes the safety and the overall flooding in our community at the park and at the animals. So why are we not putting into place a plan that we would have to use once every 10 years? Why was that not even being considered an option? I sincerely hope that Rick Lear did not promise this group when, where, or what happens to these animals unless their credentials have been validated. And I cannot understand why any of these sanctuaries would be calling, asking why they aren't getting animals. Why would they be under that impression that they were promised animals? Mr. Lear addressed, as did you, that these things take time, but yet you did certainly rush to shut it down. So I'm asking you if you can please reconsider and take some time after gathering the research and listening to others within your community and potentially the friends of the animals at Johnson Park and those that want to see the animals stay open can come together to define the best solution for the park. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Charles Prattville, New Brunswick today. Continue to be disappointed with the lack of response to my inquiries about the flood damage that forced the closure of the family courthouse, which was of course built by New Brunswick Development Corporation and is still out of commission. It's unclear what the financial impact is going to be on the county. I was at this microphone 2 weeks ago. I was promised some follow-up. If it came, I didn't receive it. Moving on, DevCo has really... Yep, go ahead. Yeah, so DevCo's certainly left their mark on New Brunswick. In recent years, they're responsible for the failed supermarket just around the corner from here. They kicked out the grease trucks, one of our popular destinations here in New Brunswick. And of course, the really unforgivable things, they demolished the Lincoln Annex School, one of our best performing schools. 700 plus students are now attending classes in a converted warehouse in an industrial part of our city rather than a neighborhood school in their own community because of DevCo. And it was nice to see some of you at the groundbreaking for their latest project, which they've dubbed the Hub. It's in the former Ferrin Mall, which has been a wasteland for so many years. And I wanted to ask about the contamination at that site. As you may know, there's contamination there caused by a leaking underground storage tank that was part of this complex right here back when it was the Middlesex County Jail. On this site, the heating oil seeped out and contaminated that area. At the time, I believe Bruce Kaplan talked the DEP out of fining the county for their violations. And years ago, the county hired a company owned by prominent political donors, CME Associates, to investigate the contamination and clean it up. But I have reason to believe that has not yet happened. Can someone state definitively, since the county has taken responsibility for the cleanup of that site, has the cleanup of that contamination been completed?
Well, I think Mr. Sentner made that clear the last time that was brought up, that first of all, any construction in the state of New Jersey, if there's contaminated soil on a project, it has to be capped, cleaned up, and capped.
So has the
I can't answer that right now. Mr. Sentner is not here. Tom?
Charlie, there's the CME, the LSRP, Baran Tehran, who's been the LSRP on this project for a few years now, submitted a cleanup plan to the DEP, which provides for the monitoring wells that are on the site now, and they're monitored and tested periodically. And ultimately, what will happen at the site is there's one of two options that are being considered. One of which is to utilize the function where the groundwater that is located there is cleaned through a chemical process. And that's one of the options. Another option is to potentially, in certain areas, to cap, part of which is going to be dependent upon how the site is developed. But it's all being monitored right now, and the plan is before the DEP, and it is proceeding with them. But they will continue to monitor, and ultimately, I think what will happen is that they will be using the chemical process to clean the groundwater.
Okay. In August, I believe this board approved a resolution allowing DevCo, the Brunswick Development Corporation, to dump so-called clean fill into the hole. And I'm just curious, given the fact that the contamination problem has not been resolved yet, are they going to have to take all that fill out of there?
Let me answer that question for you. Part of the fill that's there is going to be utilized in order to be part of the development process for the hub project. When an agreement was reached for them to bring in the clean fill, and by the way, it was required to be tested, clean fill had to have a certain compression associated with it. Some of that fill is going to be utilized to form the base for the Easton Avenue Spring Street connection, which, as you know, is now been actually, a bid has been awarded for. And that clean fill, which is, again, been tested and tested for compression, is saving the county a lot of money because otherwise the contractor would have had to bring in fill from somewhere else. So it's a combination of the reason why that clean and actually compressed fill is being placed on that site, part of which is to extend the roadway, part of which will be used for the development of the site.
Thanks. Can I get an update on the Wolfson parking?
Can I ask a question? So
Yeah.
part of the agreement also provides protection for all of the monitoring wells that are down there. They have to be left alone, they need to be, continue to be active, and it has to be made available for the cleaning process once the DEP signs off on the cleanup.
And how about the Wolfson parking garage?
Charlie, your time is up. Thank you.
Maybe you can stay after the meeting, I'll ask them.
Sure, thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, my name is Yvonne Schnorr, I'm from Edison, New Jersey. I'm here to speak about the decision to close the Animal Haven at the Johnson Park Zoo. I think that my position was articulated by the other people here who are in support of keeping the Haven open. What I would like to know is what information was used to come to this decision and why the public was not made aware of this decision-making process going on.
We had meetings with Rick Lear in reference to the incidents over there and the rescue plan that was moving the animals when it was raining and the storm and the process that's involved. And we feel that it's in the best interest of the animals to not have them there and our employees as well. I just think it's a bad situation there. It's a floodplain that FEMA has declared already, and we just don't want to see anything happen to those animals in the future.
With all due respect, I can't respond to that intelligently because you're saying that you care about the animals and the safety of the animals, but moving them from their home would cause them much anxiety and stress. And as Rick articulated very nicely to the people who you issued this directive on the 18th, and they're sitting here badgering him, when are you going to move them? Why do we have transparency? Transparency, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. And Rick articulated very well that it takes time to go and investigate these sanctuaries that were handed on a list by private parties. I don't know who they are. Why are these sanctuaries that nobody knows about better than what we have already? And why are we making definitive statements that the sanctuary that we have is no good and the animals are not safe, when in fact that's contrary to the facts that at least I'm aware of? So I'm trying to be educated, and maybe you are in possession of facts. You're saying that there's information that animals are not safe. I go there all the time. My kids go there all the time. I see thousands of people come through the park. I see how these people handle the animals. I don't believe that they're not safe. My information is that they are safe, and none of the animals died in this flood because the caretakers were there working overtime to ensure that they were safe and that they were moved to higher grounds. And I think that speaks tremendously for the fact that they are safe. So you're telling me, well, we care about the animal safety and we're gonna close it, but you don't care about the animal safety because you're not articulating to me what information was given to you that states definitively that they're not safe. I would like to understand, you're making a decision, I pay tax dollars here, I'm very happy to pay to have a sanctuary here. I don't know where these other sanctuaries are, and as Rick also mentioned, some of the sanctuaries that were provided by these people who I don't know who they are, they might have good intentions, they might be misguided, I don't know. But I don't know where these places are, that they would be in a better position, so how are we making a decision what is better for the animals without actually knowing what better is, and how did we come to the decision that these animals are not in fact in a good position? I'm not an expert, but I go there all the time. I pop in, they don't know when I'm coming. People who have an ulterior motive or an ulterior agenda, which I don't believe, in my humble opinion, this has anything to do with the floods, because I've been hearing about this probably, I would say, for a year, of people having a Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group. This is upon information and belief. I've not seen this group. It's information that I've received from other people where they have some sort of other agenda. I don't know, maybe they're unhappy with something. I can't speak to as to why, but they're promulgating these falsehoods, photoshopping pictures, saying that the animals are not cared for, making fake stories, which I have seen. And when I told my kids where I'm going tonight, they started crying. They're like, why would they want to hurt the animal? Why would they want to take it out? They don't understand why I'm telling them that the zoo was closed down because the animals are not safe, when that is not actually what is going on. So with all due respect, I would like some transparency, that we find out what exactly is the information that you made this decision on, and we can reevaluate if that is in fact in the best welfare, for the best welfare of the animals. And like Rick said, that's right, these things take time, and you're not moving a lawnmower.
Your time is
You're moving
up.
a living
Thank you.
being.
Thank you.
you.
Is there a motion to close? Anyone else? Motion to close?
Motion to close.
Up.
Can I get up?
You can get up. Please state your name and address, and you have 5
My name
minutes.
is Sarah S. I'm from Sayreville. I've just been listening to everything going on, and I haven't heard anything up until recently about the goings-on at Johnson Park. And I also have gone there through the years and seen the animals, and I've known many people that work there, and I've seen the fantastic care the animals have gotten. I also worked for a vet for well over a decade. I have many, many friends who are vets of domestic animals and farm animals, so I have a lot of animal knowledge. I've worked with animal rescue groups. My concern is, I keep hearing about the safety of the animals. If you move an animal, my own cat, he's elderly, I know there's a chance he's going to have a heart attack every time he goes to the vet because he has a weak heart, he's old. Now you're talking non-domesticated animals that you're going to move. Tranquilizers are always an issue with an animal. They can die from a tranquilizer. They can die from stress, especially when you're moving them, especially a wild animal, a farm animal. They're very prone to stress. They're prone to having a heart attack and dying. So to say to move the animals is better, there's a lot to consider. It's not just quick, you put them in the car, you move them like you do with a dog. There's more to it than that, and that is a major, major concern. These animals have been there a long time. They're imprinted on that, that's their home. So this, I don't think was taken into consideration. And it just seemed like a hasty decision. Nobody knew about it. People who know animals haven't had a say. The people who work there haven't had a say. I have worked in animal rescue for many years. I've fostered for groups. I've adopted through groups. I've adopted out on my own. I know how hard it is to adopt out. I know all the goings on with trying to place animals. This isn't, again, it's not a quick thing. You can't just like pop these animals places. I know a lot of the rescues are not what they appear to be. I know a lot of the rescues also flood, because we have a lot of flooding in New Jersey. I know personally, a lot of these places, they really need to be looked into, because there's a lot of places with a lot of violations. And many flood, they flood more often and worse in the park. So I just want to put that out there from somebody who has been in rescue, dealing with animals, dealing with vets, dealing with sanctuaries. I know these things, and I just want to put it out there because I don't think people in the know are getting their say. And that's all I want to say, to put it out, one more piece of information to consider.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to close? Oh, somebody else? Oh, you spoke already, ma'am.
I know, but I.
You spoke already, I'm sorry.
Can I
You're
just
out
ask
of
a
order.
question?
You spoke already. Sorry about that.
5 minutes.
You spoke, your time is up.
But I didn't use
Is
the full
there
5
a
minutes.
motion to close?
Motion to close. You only get one term, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, you were
Thank
saying
you.
that to me. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.